The people at Truck Stop then teamed up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truck Stop Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Good night. Good night. Good night. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy belated Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. How's everybody doing? Let's get it going. Shout out to Mid. What's going on? Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to Chauncey. This guy is a huge Debbie Downer. Who are you talking about? Man, do we gotta bring somebody to the front of the congregation already? Link pin to the snap of the shenat. Listen, we don't gotta wait to the end. Come express your grievance. Come express your grievance. Let's pin it. Let's pin it. Let's get it cracking early. Let's get it cracking early because it's rough for you. I know why it's rough. We gonna get to why it's rough for you. We gonna get to why it's rough for you. We gonna get there. Give me a second. We gonna get there because I'm gonna make it more downer for you. I'm gonna give you more of a downer. I'm gonna make it more down for you. When you tell people that you need to know what it costs you to run your business, and this is what your content is focused on, and you become a Debbie Downer. This is how people look at you. This is how people that aren't making money because they don't know what it costs to run their business, you're a Debbie Downer. We gonna get there though. Give me a second. Let me go through all the people who know what it costs them to run their business. Let me shout them out, and then we gonna circle back around. Give me a second. We gonna get there. Don't worry about it. Shout out to everybody from the crib. It's nighttime, so you already know how we do it in the nighttime. You dig what I'm saying? So shout out to Don Solo. Shout out to Danny O. Shout out to Asma. What's going on? Shout out to King Sing. What's going on? Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Running Warrior representing the crib. Everybody from Chicago, you get a DJ Ferris tonight. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to King Sing representing Brooklyn. Shout out to Beats. Shout out to Jonathan representing the Boogie Down. Alfonso, what's going on? Shout out to Kevin, by the way, of Chicago. You already know what it is. Shout out Chicago, nigga. Shout out to William Sweet representing Jacksonville. Asma Rowland representing the West Coast. Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to all the moderators. Big Hearn, what's up? Shout out to everybody that's representing the MGM. Craig Freeman, MGM. Marcellus, what's going on? Who else? B. Tellis, what's going on? Representing Dallas. Shout out to Dave, what's good? Big Hearn representing Louisiana. Wayne Slaughter representing Houston. What it do? Cleveland in the building. SD Walt, what up, what up, what up? Shout out to Jay Stokes. Shout out to Mike representing South Carolina. Who else we got? Shout out to Chicago's very own. You already know what it is.
The Chicago, nigga.
You already know what it is. Shout out to Steven. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? NW Lou. NW.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile. Congratulations to you, dog. Congratulations, my nigga.
Shout out to NW Lou in the building. What's going on, NW? Now let's scroll back up. Before we cook. Do we need to bring somebody to the front? Do you want to express your grievance real quick? Because you know we don't duck anything. This is the channel this is a duck free. We don't even play duck, duck, goose over here. We never played duck, duck, goose when we was a kid. We played it. We didn't play duck, duck, goose. We played it. You can come to the front and express your grievance. Link is always pinned to the top of the chat. We have an open door policy on this channel. See, this ain't your other channels that they talk and then they mislead you and then you get mad and you go run around the internet and complain. No, on this channel, we drop linkage. Linkage is always pinned to the top of the chinat. You can come up here and express your grievance. We don't duck anything. It is an open door policy. This guy says this guy's a Debbie Downer. If you watch my content, I do accountability content and I talk about people understanding their costs. I give people information to succeed. Sometimes it may be harsh, but I don't steer anybody in the wrong direction because I don't talk about things that I'm not well versed in, sir. So how am I? You become a Debbie Downer when you talk to people who can't count. Anybody that watches my content, the last thing they'll tell you is I'm a Debbie Downer. That means you don't know what it costs you to run your business. But we're going to get there tonight. You're going to understand why. You are going to understand why you feel I'm a Debbie Downer. But hold on a second. We're going to get there. Just be cool. Be cool. Because I know you're not going to hit that link. I know you're not going to hit that link. But hold on. We're going to leave you. We're going to send you away with something to think about. Shout out to Jonathan. Let me what is this? What is this Jonathan doing? Jonathan celebrates 12 months of level 3. Appreciate all the content. Mark hit a milestone this live. Glad to be a part of the greatest community in the space. Shout out to Jonathan. I appreciate that.
Sweet.
12 months at level 3, 12 months member. Shout out to you. All right, let's kick it, man. Let's kick it because I don't think that Chauncey guy, Chauncey from Minister Society, Chauncey. Hey, Chauncey, hit the link, Chauncey. Who was that punk ass Chauncey? Who was that? Who was that? Who played Chauncey in Minister Society? Was that who was that played Chauncey? Was that that's Buddy that play everything? Buddy that play everything. He play in every movie. He like a Z-list actor. That's who you get to play the gangster, the fill-in gangster that get like a little quick short role. He played Chauncey in Minister Society. All right, man, let's get to it, bro. Let's get to it because he ain't going to hit the linkage. He ain't going to hit the linkage. People are always scared to hit the link, but got so much to say. I'm going to make you feel down, too. But we're going to help you right now. We're going to help you. Let's talk about cost per mile. But before we get into it, and I'm going to tell you why so many people fail, because 85 to 95% of people do fail. Chauncey, believe it or not, Clifton Powell, there you go. Majority of the people that come into this business fail. It's not a Debbie Downer. It's a fact, though. See, it's a fact, though. And you know why they fail? Because they don't do what's in their best interest. See, so what I do is I try to prevent that from happening. I want people to be the 5 to 15% that succeed. All right. So before we get into reasons why you fail and why majority of your peers that come into this business fail, Chauncey, first thing before we get started, let's give the formula for cost per mile. Let's give the formula. Hold on one second. Are we going to? Yeah, let's pull up our blackboard. Real quick. And let's do this formula real quick. And I seen something today. I seen another content creator give a bad cost per mile formula. In 2025, we're going to hold these content creators accountable as well. We not going to hold them accountable for selling all that bullshit. We're going to hold them accountable for misleading people with bad information. All right, so boom, let's get this cost per mile formula, CPM. All right, so I like to do things the long way. The short way is you could add up all your fixed costs divided by your miles driven. I like to do it the long way. So we're going to start with our fixed costs. All right, so this is what I want you to do. I want your fixed CPM. So FCPM, all right, equals, all right, so boom, total fixed cost. All right, so we're going to say total fixed cost. All right, however you want to do it, if you're doing it weekly, monthly, all right, divided by miles driven. All right, my handwriting is sloppy because it's kind of hard to write on this digital board and all this stuff. So I don't use it often, so my hand is not as steady as I would like it to be. All right, now let's switch colors. Now let's go over here. Let's do variable. All right, and then we're going to go, hold on. Let's go variable. And then let's go variable cost per mile. All right, we're going to equal that. And then we're going to go our variable cost, all right, per mile over. And then we're going to go the same miles driven. So whatever miles you're doing for the month, all right? So if it's 10,000 miles, then that's the number that will go here. The same number that goes here is the same number that goes here. We're just getting our total fixed cost and we get our total variable cost, all right? I should put TVC, all right? So total variable cost, all right? Now, once we get our total fixed cost, which is going to be a number here, all right? Whatever this number is here,
And whatever this number is here, we're going to add those two together. We're going to add this number, we're going to add that number. And then that's going to give us a number right here. So just one more time, whatever your total fixed costs are, right? Your fixed cost per mile is going to equal your total fixed cost divided by miles driven. Whatever that number is, which will be here. All right, your variable cost per mile, total variable cost over the miles driven, whatever that number is total, you're going to add these two numbers together, this number and that number, and then that's going to give you your CPM. All right, that's going to give you your CPM. All right, Chauncey, that's going to give you your cost per mile. Okay, Chauncey. All right, Chauncey. Now let's talk about it. Because what I was thinking today, I want to talk about why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? Why don't people want to do it? I said, this is something that I've been thinking about because I don't understand it. I don't understand why people don't want to make money. I don't understand why people invest into something and then they run it and they want to run it on a whim. They want to just, run day to day. They're not interested in knowing if they're making money. They're not interested in knowing if they're losing money. Hit the like button. Why do you want to come into business if you don't know what you're making? All right. So now that we got the formula down, let's talk about it. Barriers to understanding. Why are there barriers to understanding? Why do I have to, argue with people? Why do I have to argue with people to get them to understand that they need to do what's in their best interest? All right, lack of financial education. We could just say lack of education altogether, but let's be specific here. Lack of financial education. Many new people that come into this space don't have a background in finance. I get it. They don't have a background in accounting, but guess what? Welcome to business. Just because you don't have it, you need to go find it. Like we finna be cut and dry this live stream. We're not gonna really expound because we need to break things down very elementary. Very elementary. Because even though I put out some recent videos and 99.6% lean one way, it's always that 0.2 or that 0.3% that come into the comment section that side with the ignorance. They side on the side of ignorance. And ignorance is not a bad thing. Ignorance is just a person who doesn't know. It's a lack of understanding. Ignorance is, I don't know why people look at that word as like, oh, it's a very bad thing. Ignorance is just a person who just doesn't understand. It's a lack of understanding, right? But there's that 0.2 or 0.3% that come in and they just side with ignorance. And then those are the people that come up and then we create new clips. Somebody said, why is it important to know what your cost per mile is? I don't even know how to respond to that type of question. How do you respond to ignorance? How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. Somebody told me the other day, man, Mark, you need to dumb it down. How much more? So I gotta keep dumbing myself down. I say it all the time. No, some people just need to catch up. You don't go up in life to come back down. I refuse to dumb my content down all the way to zero. There's channels that will give you surface level information. There's channels that you can find that will give you information that you could just go to your computer, go to your phone and Google. You see numbers, your brain shut down. Why is that? Why does your brain shut down when you see numbers? Why are you avoiding it? Why do so many people avoid it? One thing I can tell you that don't lie is numbers. Numbers don't lie. You know why, Chauncey, you call me a Debbie Downer?
because I talk about real situations. I talk about real scenarios. I don't fluff anything. See, you're the type of person, Chauncey, you want to go to a channel where everything is bright and sunny, peaches and cream, and people highlight all the glitz and the glamour and these big gross numbers, all the stuff that sells you the dream. You don't want to deal with the reality, Chauncey. That's why you come into my live. Clearly, you're subscribed to the channel, though, because you got the notification you were here while Tupac was playing, waiting because you put your comment in the comment section in the chat. So you're here for something. There's some type of value here, Debbie Downer or not. You get reality on this channel. You get reality. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not asking you for anything. The only thing you ever hear me ask you is to hit the like button. And the attitude Chauncey has is the same attitude most people have when it comes to knowing what it costs them to run their business. You talk to them about cost per mile, they shut down. You hating on a box truck driver. You're hating on a box truck driver. You're hating on a box truck driver.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Or they tell you that. This is what they tell you.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
You try to do things to help people, and then this is what they tell you. They tell you they don't care about it. I'm the Debbie Downer, the guy that's arguing with people to help them do what's in their best interest. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. See, what it is people have been misled so much. People have been led so much that they want to continue to be misled. Business ain't easy. It's not simple. It's complex. It's complex. If you believe it's easy, I know, I always do the joke about the 5 simple steps to come into the box truck business. I know your favorite people do those reels and those shorts, and they make it so simple, and they point, and then they put like a big gross number, and then they tell you you can come in with a little small number, and then you think you're going to make a shit ton of money, and then you go out and you do what's not in your best interest, and then you end up having to come to me, the guy that's the Debbie Downer. Then you want to come see me. Pippi, let's start taking names of everybody that says negative things, because then when they come back and they need us, we're not going to help people. Take names. We're taking names. In 2025, we taking names. We don't want to deal with nobody that don't like reality. Start taking names. MGM members, remember names. Start remembering names. Some people just are scared of math. They avoid calculations because they assume the equation is going to be difficult. What's difficult? What's difficult about totaling up all your fixed cost, dividing it by the miles driven? You have an odometer. It's right in front of you. Your odometer is right in front of you.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Keep up with the miles that you drive. Keep up with your fixed costs. The money that's coming out your business debit account, account for it. Itemize your things. If you're doing your accounting yourself, itemize everything. Itemize the shit. Like what? Fuel, variable. Truck note, fixed. Truck rental, fixed. McDonald's, variable. Motive, fixed. Insurance, fixed. Truck parking, if you pay truck parking, fixed. If you have some type of, you got a fleet of trucks and you're monitoring your trucks with some type of software, fixed. You're paying a subscription.
Your cell phone, fixed. Your factoring, variable. Your dispatch, variable. Itemize the shit. Separate it. Fixed cost divided by those miles. Write the number down. Same thing with your variable. Divided by the miles. Write the number down. Add cost per mile. Listen. We're going to dumb it down even more. Give me 1 second. Let's dumb it down even simpler. This is the way I recommend you do it. Let's dumb it down even further. Let's dumb it down one little further. Let's do it like this. Voila. For some of the people that are just, mathematically challenged, even simpler. Look at all your debits. You got a business bank account and everything is streamlined. Look at everything that's a debit, not credit. If your bank does it where they color code it, anything that's green is a credit, anything that's red is a debit. Take all the stuff that's red, or they might put a minus sign in front of it, or they might put parentheses. These are all the codes for things that came out of your bank account. So if it's in red, then it came out. If it's a minus in front of the numbers, it came out. If it's in parentheses, then it came out. I'm simplifying it for you. Take all the money that came out of your bank account, right? Let's make it simple. Out, right? And then you're going to divide it by the miles that you drove. And then that number will give you your cost per mile. Now, let's say that number is $1.50. Don't you think it's beneficial to know the number so that you can know what rates you should or should not accept? Or are one of you guys that you heard that you should just take $2 a mile?
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Are you one of those guys that you were just told, as long as you take $2 a mile, you straight? Well, all right. Well, let's kick it then. Let's kick it. What if when you do this equation, your cost per mile is this? Because you're scared to do math, or you're afraid, or whatever the case. So we're going to get to some of these scenarios. What if that's your cost per mile? Because I know your favorite people said, man, as long as you take $2 a mile, you should be straight. I'm going to tell you why they tell you this. Because they don't know cost per mile. There's a guy that I'm arguing with in the clips, right? He went and bought a mentorship. I'm not going to say who he bought it from, but he paid for a mentorship. The guy who's in the video today paid for a mentorship with somebody.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
So that means he spent money. And you saw the results of the money that he spent, right?
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
So a person goes to a load board with this mindset of, I'm just going to take $2 a mile. And then in 3 months, they end up hitting the link, calling in, asking me, they don't know where all the money is going.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
That's why. The little money that they got, they robbing from the sustainability of their business already. And they just running for free pretty much. But they breaking even, right? But breaking even, you're spending money, your cost of living. So really you're losing. Breaking even is losing. You have to make money. You can't run on break even. Break even continuously, break even is okay sometimes. In some situations, in some scenarios, sometimes. But you can't run a business successfully breaking even the course of your business tenure. Why? Because bills are coming out. So whatever little cash flow that you had, you're pulling from it because you're not adding anything to the pot. You're just constantly taking away. All right, no problem. Let's kick it. Let's kick it. It's the nighttime. I was going to do this live earlier. I said, it's the holiday. Let's kick it. Let's kick it. Let's wait till the night. We make it prime time so we can cuss and things like that. I like to cuss at nighttime. I want to cuss. Because sometimes we have to cuss. Then somebody want to come into my live stream the other day talking about, man, Mark, your content is so great, but sometimes your language.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
You worried about my language, but I'm trying to educate somebody on what's best for them. But they tell me this. I
don't give a fuck about a cost per
mile.
So
it's okay for me, a person to tell me this.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
When I'm trying to educate them, but when I say the F word, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Oh, all right. Well, guess what? So check this out. Now, what if you're following this $2 thing, and then your cost per mile is this? You running cross country or wherever you running, whatever your radius is, for 4 cents a mile. So I don't know if it's anxiety or, I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, y'all need to figure it out. Hit the like button. All right, let's kick it. Laziness. I think a lot of people dodge it because it's time consuming. Not just necessarily they don't know arithmetic. I think they just lazy, or it could be a combination of both. Calculating costs requires what? Outside of the work that you have to do to calculate the cost, that work, you have to track your expenses, which means you have to do work with keeping up with your shit. Some people ain't even keeping up with their shit. Some people ain't keeping up with their fuel. Some people ain't keeping up with their insurance. Some people ain't even keeping up with their depreciation. We don't even talk about depreciation on this channel. Why? Because people can't even do the basic shit. So we can't even get into the more technical things to factor in your cost per mile, like depreciation. Some of you don't even know that you can get depreciation as part of your tax write-offs. Oh, yeah. Why? Because it's tedious and you lazy and you don't want to do no work and you probably don't know how to add, or a combination of both. Or you procrastinate and you say, oh, man, I'll do it later. And later never comes. Man, I'm going to start doing my cost per mile, man. This dude, Mark, man, he's steady on us about this CPM shit. Man, I'm going to start doing that shit later on today. As soon as I park the truck, I'm going to do my cost per mile, and then you don't do it. Man, I'm tired, man. I've been driving all day. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Same situation tomorrow. You don't do it. On your reset, you don't do it. You at home now. You came home early for Christmas so you wouldn't get stuck at a truck stop. You ain't did it. And then guess what? Can anybody tell me what my most requested content is going to be starting in the middle of next month going into February? Can anybody tell me what my most requested content is going to be? Hit the like button. What's going to be my most requested content for people requesting beginning in the middle of January going into February? What's it going to be? Kevin Birch got it, taxes. And guess what? I ain't doing no tax content this year. I didn't do it last year. I ain't doing it this year. You want tax content? You need to go back and look at my content from 2 years ago. Why? Because y'all stressed me out that year. And I said I would never do tax content again because you didn't do what's in your best interest. Listen, y'all, I'm smart. Look at what I've been dealing with all year on this channel with cost per mile. So do you think people ain't been keeping track of shit? So when they get to scrambling in February and January, you think I'm going to put myself under that stress? Hell no. They're not doing what's in their best interest now. So guess what? They're going to be scrambling for a year's worth of shit in a short window. You're not going to stress me out. I'm 44. I just started graying. You ain't finna stress me out. Somebody want to call up in the middle of my lecture. You got to wait till I finish with my lecture, or you can sit in the green room and chill.
You can sit in the green room and chill. I'm not done with my lecture. I'll bring you up when I'm done with my lecture. I'm not going to get it. I'm cooking right now. I'm not doing tax content this year. I got tax content from 2 years ago. Watch it. Now going to stress me out because majority of people ain't been doing what's in their best interest. You ain't got no P&Ls. You don't know if you're profitable. You've been robbing from the sustainability of business. You've been commingling funds. We have yet for one person to come up here that's known their cost per mile. So I'm not going to let you stress me out in February. I'm not going to do it. I got old content where I did all that shit 2 years ago and you stressed me out. I'm not doing it again. So I'm just letting you know now. I'm not doing it. I don't want your money. Don't offer me no money. I'm not doing it. Hey, Adam, you got to chill in the green room or wait to the end. All right? I'm cooking. I'm not going to chill out. I will bring you up when I finish my lecture. Just be cool. You can watch the show from the green room. All right. So procrastination, the whole I'll figure it out mentality. That's dizzy. Believing that they just making it because I've been here 2 years, or I've been out here 6 months, or I've been out here 3 years, that I'm getting by mentality. You probably getting by because you robbing from the sustainable. You're probably getting by because some people get by longer than others. I don't know what his bread looking like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what his living situation looking like. You know what I'm saying? He could be one situation away from his demise. But I can tell you one thing, and I don't wish that for anybody. I don't wish that for him. I like Dizzy. Believe it or not, I like Dizzy. Knocking on wood. But people that don't know what's in their best, or don't do what's in their best interest, that are running a business and they don't know what it's costing them to run their business, they're only one situation away from their demise. They think that they're profitable. They think that they're doing a good job, but they can't tell you whether they are or not with numbers. People get by all the time. Some people longer than others. Some people get some type of saving grace before they fall on their face. Most don't. This whole on a whim, get by mentality, that's not how you run a business. You wonder why you've been at one truck for 4 or 5 years and you want to scale, but for some strange reason, you can never scale your business. You have no cash flow because you've been running on a whim. You don't know what's coming in. You don't know what you're losing. You're not accounting for anything. We had someone come up here earlier this year, been inbox trucking 4 years, never did taxes. Avid watcher, been watching the channel since it started. He said it. I'm not making fun of him. He said, Mark, I got to get taxes. I ain't did taxes. 4 years.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
So this whole I'll figure it out shit, you're going to figure it out until you hit your demise. You're not going to, eventually it's going, listen, and I don't wish it. I don't wish it on nobody. But I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. It's just not the way you run a business. Ignorance. Nobody told you. Nobody told you. Nobody told me. How many people came up here this year and said, man, I never knew about cost per mile until I found your channel? No excuse. I still hold them accountable. Why? Because it's your responsibility, because it's your business. Nobody's going to tell you anything about your business. But this guy, bro, like, hold on, bro. This guy must really want to talk. Yo, if you can hear me, Adam in the back, throw up the peace sign. Can you hear me? All right. Well, I got to finish my lecture before I can bring you up. So, just chill in the green room and then I'll bring you up. No one told him. Not an excuse. That's why I hold these people accountable, and this is why people don't like it, and they come into my comment section, and then they come into my chat, and they say all this soft shit, and then I put the link up there, and they never come up. And then when the people that do come up, I ask them where they're from, and they say a little small town in Idaho. That's why you soft. That's why you can't take accountability. That's why you can't take criticism for you not doing what's in your best interest. Listen, if somebody told me something that was because I'm doing something that's not in my best interest and they get me together, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that called me out on my bullshit. I'm appreciative of all the corrective action. If you see Mark going down the path and I don't need to be going down that path, yo, tighten me up. Pull my coattail. Get me together. Hey, Mark, don't go hang out with them people over there, man. They know on the back door people. Hey, Mark, you might not want to go over there, man. You know they be over there tweaking. I'm going to listen. I'm not going to be like, man, you can't tell me where to go. I'm not going to be combative if someone is going out of their way to prevent me from doing something that could be detrimental to me one way or another, where it could be detrimental to my finances or detrimental to my life or detrimental to my livelihood. I'm not a type of person where I think I'm too good to not hear somebody out. People come on this channel and want to argue with me.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
About shit like cost per mile and trucking that are novice. This is the ignorance. Novice, people that own trucks that are not moving them or owning trucks that are on the new, that when you ask them about, things pertaining to their business, I don't have like this button or something where I can just morph into their home and grab their finger and hit the link for them. These people come up on their own, but then people get mad for me holding people accountable because they can't add or they don't know what their cost per mile is. Or, Mark, why are you harsh on them? I get what he was trying to say. He's just basically saying you're too harsh, but you should do his cost per mile. Oh, but you are kind of harsh. No, I'm not. You start a business, and one of the basic things that you should do, which is know what it costs you to run your business, you deserve to get your ass kicked. What the fuck? You start a business to make money. If you don't want to make no money and you just want to get the government to cut you a check to run, go start a nonprofit or some shit. But if you start a business to make money, don't you think it's in your best interest to know what it's costing you to run the business? So how is a person that's telling them this too harsh? They should get their ass kicked every fucking day.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Link pinned to the top of the chat. Whoever you feel a certain type of way, it's always pinned. Get in line. As soon as I say you should get your ass kicked, then you just, here they come. They was cool before I said that, but now they upset. Here they come. I know what triggers. I practice triggers. I do this shit purposely. I don't give a fuck about your emotion thumbs and shit. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Did I give a fuck? A flying fuck? Fuck. You don't know what it costs you to run your business.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
You're going to be the same person the next month and a half trying to figure out taxes. I'm going to be right here. I told you that last year. I'm going to be right here. I ain't going nowhere. I'll be here in 2025. Don't worry about it. I'm still be here in the crib. Don't worry about it. You think the load board, the numbers on the load board are just profitable. Some people literally think that when they go to the load board, that the numbers that they see, and link is pinned to the top of the chat, be brave. We need some brave soldiers out here. Stop being a coward, man. Come up and express your grievance. Stop hiding behind these thumbs. Stop hiding behind these upside down thumbs. Stop being cowards. Let's have a conversation. Stop being a coward. Some people go to the load board and they believe that the numbers on the load board are profitable. Like the load board does all the math for you. I'm not making this up for theatrics. I'm not making this up for content. People have told me this. People think the math is already done for them. They just pick where they want to go. Oh, you know what? I think I want to go to Arizona. Yeah, let me find a load going to Arizona. And then they find a load going to Arizona and they go because they think that the board has already calculated. Well, I'm coming from New York to Arizona. Well, it's in $1,300. So they're DAT. They know what it costs to go from here to there. And then they just take it. Like the guy that came up here that went 1,400 miles for $1,000. I said, why'd you do that? He couldn't even give me an answer. But you get mad at me and you come in and say, I'm too harsh, Chauncey, and whoever this guy that did an upside down thumb, for holding people accountable. Okay, well, continue to put your upside down thumbs and continue to say that I'm a Debbie Downer because it's only going to get, I'm turning it up a notch in 2025.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Overconfidence. Dizzy screams overconfidence. I'm just going to use Dizzy as an example since his content, we clipped him up yesterday and today. Overconfidence, arrogantly overconfident. You can't tell him nothing. You can't tell that man nothing, no matter how ignorant it sounds, he will not listen to reason. Overconfidence. A lot of novice that come into this business, they are so overconfident and so arrogant, it's pathetic. Like the 28-year-old with the 3 chucks. Look how arrogant he was. I couldn't tell him nothing. He ain't got a pot to piss in, a window to throw this shit out of, no money. Everything he need, I got it. And he want to sit up here and tell me. Overconfident. Nothing. He ain't got nothing, but want to tell me. The person that got what he need and has already accomplished what he's pursuing. You think you're going to eyeball some shit. Oh, let me go on the low board and look at these rates. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I did drive down to Mississippi for a family reunion about 10 years ago. Yeah, it only cost me. You trying to parallel you driving down to Mississippi in a goddammit Ford Escort to a 26-foot box truck? And there's some people that think like that, just ignorant. You think you just gonna eyeball some shit, like you cold or some shit, like you just cold with it already. Just overconfident, can't listen to reason, think you know everything. I'm talking to them novice. I'm talking to you, novice. Yeah, you. See, what it is that dream you've been sold, it's done corrupted your mind. So then you got guys like Chauncey.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Chauncey Simmons calls Big Mark a Debbie Downer. How am I a Debbie Downer? Life is great. I have nothing to be upset about.
I'm not even your competition. I'm not even directly competing with you. I'm not even your competition. What do I have to be Debbie Downer about? Like M.W. Lou said, man, you're out the grind. So why do I got to be a Debbie Downer? How is the guy that made it out the grind, like M.W. Lou said, why do I got to be a Debbie Downer? I'm doing fine. People tell on themselves. These are the people that tell on themselves. I'm coming. Give me a second, Adam. I'm gonna bring you up in 1 second. I got a few more bullet points that I got to get to. This gross income. I want to touch on this really quick, and then I'm gonna keep moving. The big number.
I don't give a fuck about.
There.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
There we go. I thought I wore the button now. Faded away for a second. All right, we good. Some people just look at the big number. Oh man, 1,500. Who was that? James and a few other people that looked at some of these numbers and they thought that they were big and they ran all the way cross country at a loss. They saw 2,800 or some shit like that, or 2,200. And then they ran all the way across the country at a loss. The one guy ran out of fuel. He didn't even have no money. He was stuck somewhere for days. We had a few people that were stuck somewhere for days. Because they saw this number. They all say, well, I saw the number. It said 2,200. See, that number looked big because they never made that type of much money in one watt before. But, bro, this is trucking. Where are you going? You can consume that on the way. Depending on where you're starting and where you're ending up, that number may not be nothing. It may be nowhere near what you need to even get the job done. You know why they think like this? Is because when they watch content, they see content creators put these huge gross numbers. That's your problem. You're focusing on gross. You should be focusing on profit. See, I don't focus on gross. I focus on profit. See, gross, I can't take gross and go, I can't, with gross. I can't spend gross. I spend profit. I care more about profit than gross. See, you got sold a dream, so it's conditioned in your mind when your favorite content creator that you was following every week, steady posting these numbers, 9,000, 50,000 1 week, and this, that, and the third, whether they exaggerated numbers or not, this conditions your mind to just focus on a gross number. And then that's where the disability begins. And then that's why you go to the low board and then you focus on large numbers. You don't think about this.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
You probably don't even know this exists.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
You focus on a large number. You focusing on gross. Real entrepreneurs, real business people, we focus on profit. We can't spend gross. We spend profit. Some of you don't even know if you're profiting or losing because
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Your favorite people don't never talk about the expenses. In the chat, who else talks about cost per mile besides me? If there is somebody, let me know. I'll wait. Who else talks about CPM? Now, I know I've seen some content creators been talking about it lately because they've seen I've been really hammering it home for the past 6-7 months.
But who talks about it? Outside the people who've been doing it because they see me doing it, so they think they're going to ride the wave. Who talks about it? I'll wait. Hmm. I seen one content creator attempt with two content creators within the past 12 months attempted, and both were wrong. One guy said, you want to take this number and divide it by 100,000. Some of y'all know who I'm talking about. And then he doubled back in another content and said the same shit again. And then one of his subscribers came over to my channel, called him out, but didn't want to throw that person on the bus. He didn't know that I had already seen it. 100,000. What does 100,000 represent? Oh, well, that's the estimated miles that you would drive a year. What a So you running your cost per mile is based on an estimation? You running. Why you don't use a real number? Well, he said when we just do it off 100,000 because that's an estimated miles. So how do you get your cost per mile off an estimated number when you have a real number to use for miles driven? And then the other guy, y'all already know who he was because he told y'all the other day that I had to pull up on him in the DM and get him together. The other guy didn't get together. I'm just waiting for him to get beside himself, and then I go through all his content. I already got it ready. You know me. I already got it ready. There was a guy earlier this year was talking about me before he ended his live. My live stream was up and he was in a coffin. I'm ready for, listen, I got shit ready for anybody. It's already ready. Shout out to him. No pun intended, but I'm just letting you know my shit ready. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, listen, check this out. I'm not going to let him know. He just better keep it cool. So I'm saying that to say this. Even people that create content that are supposed to be educators in the space, they don't even know the formula. They don't even know how to correctly get the cost around. That's why they don't talk about it. And then when they do talk about it, they mislead. They don't know. They don't even know how to present it because they don't know it. Dizzy said he paid for a mentorship, and this is how he acts. So he doesn't even know, and he spent money on somebody. Now, this ain't a diss to whoever that person was, but I'm proving you a point. So what are people teaching? If they're not teaching you the basic fundamentals for you to succeed, what are they teaching? What's in these courses? What's in these mentorships? What's in these groups and these courses and all this shit? When you got people that have come up here that have vehemently admitted to paying for this shit, and then this is how they talk. But let's continue. Let's talk about the psychological barrier. All right. Let's talk about the psychological barrier, the denial. We see it everywhere.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
If that's not the most denial, this denial, this is classic, straight to the point denial.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
It can't get no more straight to the point than that. But you get mad at me. Hit the like button. You get mad. You come in here and call me a Debbie Downer, Chauncey. Here come this Debbie Downer. What the fuck are you over here for? Why the fuck are you on a channel? Why the fuck would you put in the comment, here come this Debbie? Like, why would you even give me the energy if you don't like me and don't like my channel? I'm not going nowhere, watching nobody, wasting my finger typing to watch some shit I don't like. It's after hours. We getting cracking. We cussing and everything. Happy Kwanzaa. We'll keep it PG-13 tomorrow morning if we go live. It's the when it get night, it get a little R-rated. We adults, man. It's a trucking channel. We're kicking it. It's Christmas, like y'all on vacation, y'all kicking it. And we gotta make sure we keep you. It ain't dry over here. We keep it a buck all the way through. Where is Buddy still in the green room? Yeah, he's still back there. We almost done. We got one more bullet point, and then we get to you. Denial. So we got people that are in denial. Why are these people in denial? I know why they're in denial. They're afraid to face the numbers because they're afraid to find out that they're failing. Or they don't know arithmetic. Or they struggle in arithmetic. Or a combination of both. Or a combination of all three because they're afraid to face the fact that they're failing. They're afraid for Mark to say, all right, let's get down to cost per mile. Now let's go through your books. Oh, man, you about X amount of dollars in the red. You robbing from the sustainability of your business, ain't you? That's why. People don't want to face the truth. Or they got an ego. Because that ego and not admitting that they don't know it or don't know what it is, that also admits failure. See, nobody wants to admit failure. Listen, some of the most successful people have failed at something. Sometimes you have to accept failure, meet it head on so that you can surpass it and succeed. The longer you keep running from it and not holding yourself accountable and dealing with it, it's just only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. But I'm the Debbie Downer. It's Chauncey. Hey, Chauncey, you going to hit that link, Chauncey? I bet you won't hit that link, Chauncey. I've never, people I don't like, I don't even give them, I would never waste my finger typing to type that. I just wouldn't do that. That shit is crazy to me. I would never I wouldn't subscribe. I wouldn't even turn the notification on. It's crazy how I'm a Debbie Downer, but he's here front and center. It's crazy to me, right? Short-term thinking. Short-term thinking. It's the same as day to day, check to check, not thinking ahead. Business people, we plan for the future. If you don't know what it's costing you to run your business, you day to day. You like a petty hustler, like a two-time hustler. You like a petty hustler. If you don't know what it costs you to run your business, that means you living day to day. You a petty hustler with a box truck. You ain't no business person. See, your favorite content creator ain't gonna tell you this. They ain't gonna be honest with you because they want you to like them and put gem emojis in the chat and all that shit. None of that shit that's gonna amount to profit. See, I tell you this shit to get your ass in order so that you can profit. You thinking short term. You're not thinking long term. You focusing on quick wins if it's whatever you running is even a win because you don't know what it's costing you. It's only a matter of time. Some people can go longer. Some people may not go as long. But people who do not know what it costs to run their business, they all meet the same fate. There's no one that has had longevity of running a business, without knowing what the costs are. It's 2025. Long are the days where we had these old ledgers with the little bitty lines, and you have to really write small numbers. Some of y'all don't even know what a ledger is or even know what I'm talking about. But back in the day, you had a ledger. It's like like a book, and the pages were like green and white. And the lines were really close together. I mean, the lines were so close, they were even tighter than college rule. They were tighter than college rule paper. Back then, people accounted for their debits and credits. Now with technology where where it's more simplified, you don't even use it. I don't understand this shit, bro. How do we get past this? How do we get past this? Find someone that's going to tell you the truth. Find someone that's going to kick you in your ass when you're going down the wrong path. Stop looking for a person to give you sunny days every day. Because business ain't sunny days. Life ain't sunny days every day. Eventually something bad is going to happen. God, things happen in life. You think business is just ups and downs. You don't think you got to prepare. You don't think you need to have cash flow set to the side. How do you get cash flow? By understanding what it costs you to run your business, so you don't go out and over leverage yourself, spend shit that you don't even have to spend. So that you're going to go out and do dumb shit. I don't understand. Find you somebody that is going to give it to you straight, a mentor, whether it's free or whether it's paid. Or someone that that is well versed in this industry that can point you in the right directions. Tools. I saw James just mention it in the chat. There's free cost per mile calculators. Now, here's the thing. I don't promote any of them. Hit the like button. Personally, I like to do the things the old-fashioned way. I think it's better that way. Especially as a novice. If you're tenured and you understand things, then you can use a calculator. I like to write shit down. There's the formula. That's the simplified formula. If you were here earlier, I like to do the long way. I like to do the fixed cost per mile. I like to do the variable cost per mile, and then I like to add the two together. But we got to really, really, really oversimplify things going into 2025, because 2024 and 2023, people just still do not get this. Cost over miles driven, 30 days, let's say. Whatever your costs were, all your costs, debits, all the money you spent for your business. Here's another thing. People want to argue me. Man, Mark, I included my rent. Why? Well, because I have to account for that. Your rent doesn't cost you a mile. You have a flawed cost per mile. If you're adding your rent, if you're adding your car note, if you're adding your baby mama's whatever, it doesn't cost you per mile. Stop adding shit that's not costing you per mile. There was a guy earlier this year, Caduce, wanted to argue me to death. Smart guy. Really smart guy. He's probably one of the smartest guys that came up here. Just in general smart. But when it came to this, he wanted to be combative, because he is one of those guys that when he goes into the room, he's probably the smartest guy in the room in other things, right? So he's used to people just shutting up and, oh, okay, because he's probably normally right. But in this situation, he was wrong and he couldn't accept it. People want to add their rent and then want to tell me why it makes sense. How does your rent cost you per mile? Are you picking up your apartment and carrying it on your back going across country? This is some of the most ludicrous shit that I've ever heard in my life.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Are you picking up your house and strapping your house to your goddamn tow hitch and pulling your house across country with you? So how is it costing you per mile? That goes back to what I talked about earlier. The confidence, the arrogance. Some of these new cats, they just over arrogant. And then when they come, they display it. How does your house cost you per mile? Get in the habit of tracking your expenses. Get in the habit of your expenses. Get in the habit of it. Every day. That's the only way it's going to work. Listen, 2025, when it comes to bad practices, we calling it out all 2025. Don't matter. I'm not in 2025. I don't care about coaching and mentorships and all that shit. If you buy that shit, don't come crying to me. I don't care about that shit. If you see somebody and they don't know what they talking about when it comes to cost per mile, if you see somebody that got bad information when it comes to this business, to basic business fundamentals like cost per mile and things of that nature, you let me know. You let me know. You let me know. I don't care about your coaching. I don't care that somebody took advantage of you in a mentorship. I don't care about that shit. That's your problem. You let me know when someone come out here and say some shit like CDL Shorty, shout out to CDL Shorty, but Shorty, you know what you said, we got a high cost to operate, so we need a high cost per mile. He said that. I had to pull up on him. Let me know when you hear somebody say some shit like that. Or they give a formula like, oh, well, take your cost and then divide it by 100,000 miles or some dumb shit like that. You let me know. You let me know. We need to call out bad practices. We need to start holding everybody accountable that's misleading people with core information, universal information. The cost per mile formula is a universal formula. This is a universal formula. It's universal. This is a universal formula. Cost over milestone. This is the basic of the basic. This is not, I like to do it the long way. Like I said before, for the people that came in late, I like to do fixed cost per mile, variable cost per mile, and then add the two together to get the total cost. Or you can just, the reason I like to do that is so that you know what it's costing you fixed, you know what it's costing you variable on average, and then, so you got your fixed, your variable, and then your total. But this is the equation just to give you your total cost. This is probably one of the most easiest equations that you'll ever see. We got 100 and some people in here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm let me know. We got to start holding people accountable, both viewer and creator. Don't tell me about no dumb shit. I don't care about your mentorships and shit like that. I don't care. That's your problem. But misinformation that is being viewed over and over and over and over and over and over again by a mass of people, this is how misinformation gets spread. And this is why 99% of the people that come up here don't know shit. This is why 90% 85 to 95% of the people that come into this industry fail. That's one of the main reasons is misinformation. All right, so we all have to work together as a community and hold people accountable. I can't be the only one. Link pin to the top of the chat too for whoever Chauncey is. Chauncey, you want to come up, Chauncey?
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Profit over revenue. I spoke on this a few minutes ago. Stop looking at these big numbers, these gross numbers. Real bosses, we don't care about gross. See, y'all fall victim to your favorite people putting up these gross numbers, whether they're inflated, whether they're over exaggerated or not. Gross is gross. I can't gross. I can't spend gross. I've never spent gross. I've only spent profit. Gross matters to a degree, profit matters more. I've never been excited over a gross number. I get excited over profit. Stop emphasizing gross. Focus on profit. Emphasize profit over gross. Confront your fear. Stop running from cost per mile. It ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Every time you think it's gone, I'm gonna hit NW button.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
Just when you thought I forgot the button exists, I'm gonna hit it on your ass.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
I'm gonna haunt you all 2025.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
With NW because this is where people are failing. This is one of the main reasons people are failing. This is what I'm telling you, numbers don't lie. Why do you think 85 to 95% of the people fail? And then look, the 90-some% of people that come up here don't know it. The numbers parallel. Numbers don't lie. Confront your fears. If you're scared of it, you need to figure it out. Dizzy, you know why he couldn't answer the question? You know why he dodged every time I asked him the question? Because he didn't know. Anytime I asked something that was involved in math, he couldn't answer it. He dodged it. He diverted. Tried to get on Kenneth. That information, that type of content is very, very valuable. Some people look at it as not good content. That's educational and entertaining content. Ignorance, you can learn from it. Ignorance is not a bad thing. Ignorance, you can learn from it. Well, how do you learn from ignorance, Mark? Do the opposite. That's a visualization of what not to do. But guess what? Sometimes people have to see it for it to resonate. Sometimes you got to see a body land on the ground all shot up for you not to gangbang. See, y'all new cats, like a lot of y'all young cats, see, y'all, this is why I be saying, like, y'all on the news, see, y'all didn't have the parents back in the day. Parents used to take you to the morgue. Look at them. That's going to be you. You keep running around in the streets. No, look. You turn your, no, I don't want to look at your dead body. Look at him. Look at him. That's going to be you laying in that casket. When you go to a funeral and you didn't want to go up there, look at them all shot up. That's going to be you. Look at him, damn it. See, y'all didn't get that type of rough love, that type of upbringing. That's why you soft. That's why you don't want to know that's why you don't want to know what it costs you to run your business. You scared to look at a goddamn number. They used to make us go up there and look at a goddamn shot up body in a casket. Little bitty kid, scared and just trying to scare the shit out of us.
confront your fear, man. Don't get ass whoopings. That's another problem. You don't get your ass whooped. How you doing?
Hey, Mark. Sorry about the lighting. I'm kind of outside at the moment, but 100% agree with what you're saying. In fact, I would even suggest that people get, um, QuickBooks or something to be able to take accountability of what they're spending, because when you see it, it's different than when you're just thinking about it. I use Wave accounting. It's super easy. I go through my uh, transactions on the weekends. Probably takes me
Mm-hmm.
like maximum of 20 minutes if you're regular, doing your thing. Um, I would even suggest. I think a lot of people have not even considered to be able to you know um, make any form of, what do you call it, mileage. So they have no idea how much they're running. They really don't.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at the dashboards to see how many miles they did. They have no idea how much they're not looking at their odometer. They have nothing like stride or anything. I talked to a couple of what do you call, small box truck owners,
Mm-hmm.
and they had no idea. They're not even, they have no idea how much they ran. Like, okay, CPM is one thing. It is based off of the miles you're running. That's like the pillar of the CPM.
Mm-hmm.
Forget your expenses if you don't even know what your miles are. The whole game is basically over. But besides that, I'm actually running through another problem, which I did not really anticipate as well as I should have.
Mm-hmm. What's that? What's that? You froze up. All right, we lost him. All right, link pinned to the top of the chat. If you are, I don't know what happened to you, buddy, but you can hit the link and come back up again. Link pinned to the top of the
Already.
chat. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Are you able to hear me, Mark?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I'm listening.
Mark, are you able to hear me?
I hear you. I'm listening. Link pinned to the top of the chat. We got 100 and some people in here. Like 80 likes. Hit the like button, guys. Yeah, I hear
Sorry
you.
about that disconnect,
No
Mark.
problem.
I just
No problem.
changed my internet. So I bought the vehicle, 17 and a half grand. I thought it wasn't so bad because, I would have had to. At the moment, I didn't have any vehicle of my own. My wife drives her car. I needed a vehicle, even if I get like a cheap one, just to go around town. It would still be like a Honda Civic or something, just some sensible that makes sense. It would still cost more than that. So I figured it's not such a bad idea. At least with this kind of vehicle, I can make some money.
Mm-hmm.
I added, the extended warranty because it came with 170,000 on the odometer, so I didn't want to take chances with a vehicle like that. I myself am not mechanically inclined, so
Mm-hmm.
you know where you're lacking. Add on the stupid, extra warranty, and that should be it. Of course, with the financing and everything, it came to about 25. So I'm making this $500 a month payment. Doesn't seem too extravagant. It's something I can deal with. The only thing is that the freaking thing breaks down so regularly. So at this point, after 2 years almost, I made a list of all the expenses I've put in just for repairs, and turns out it's exceeding past $18,000. in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, um, the money that's going out
Mm-hmm.
is pretty high, but at the same time it's doing its thing, being repaired. There's a downtime, so you're getting it's like a double whammy. You're forking
Mm-hmm.
out money at the same time you're not making any.
Right.
So at this point, I am 19,000 still left on the vehicle, and it is still giving me issues. And I am at a point where I'm saying, you know what? I don't want to pour in more money
It's a Ford.
to. It's a Ram ProMaster.
Oh, yeah, enough
The
said.
transmission issues. The
Enough
transmission
said.
issues. Like,
Enough said.
yep,
Yeah, I know.
yep. So I talked to um, a dealership, a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Uh, I want to get the whole 170 wheelbase. I noticed that okay, so I come from a meager background. I don't think in terms of Mercedes. I was thinking Ford. But then I noticed that the price difference on them on the base models are just about the same.
I would go with the Ford, me personally. I mean, you do what you want to do. I
Okay.
mean, I go with the Ford.
No, I get you. That's why I'm hitting you up. Somebody with experience would know exactly
I
what to
mean,
do.
I've never owned either one of those vans. The vans
Right.
that I owned were Expresses. So,
Okay.
but if I were to choose based off, the research that I've done,
Yeah.
me personally, I would go with the Ford. I think it'll be more. I just think it'll be a better van to run. I think it'll be more reliable, and I think when it comes to
Easier
maintenance,
repairs.
it'll be easier to maintain. Because if I didn't want to go to Ford for something, I could pretty much
Yeah.
still take it anywhere. Whereas the Mercedes, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
me personally, I look more for longevity. I don't need too many bells and whistles because it's a work
Right.
vehicle and something that
Right.
is going to be cost efficient when it comes to maintenance.
Right.
So I
Right.
think a lot of people just get caught up in the Mercedes. You see the
Yeah.
emblem, and oh, it's a Mercedes, which is great. But
Yeah.
when it comes to business, I want something that's going to give me the best bang for my buck. I don't care about a name. I'll
Yeah.
make all my money in the Ford, and then I'll pay myself handsomely once I build my business, and then I'll go buy an S580. I'd rather have an S580
Yeah.
leased or G wagon leased from the Fords that are
Right.
making me the money that I'm leasing this G wagon or this S580 still under the business, and
Right.
that'll be my Benz. You know what I'm saying? So I don't.
Right.
Me personally, I go get the
Yeah.
Ford.
Do you, for something like around town and even long, like over the road expediting, do you suggest going with the 250 or 350 or which one? What? Because I think 250 would be more economic on the gas, but
I
then
mean,
you don't want the engine blown out either.
if you're gonna be really hauling and you can afford the 350, then always go for you know,
Okay.
the big boy if you can afford it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you can't,
Right.
then obviously the 250 would be the next best thing.
One of the guys was telling me he has a Sprinter van, and what he did was he bought his Sprinter van. He said instead of getting a van, you can actually get these same vans and have like a box truck box
A
in
cutaway,
the
yeah,
back.
it's a cutaway,
So
yeah.
do you find that to be a better option for someone like us?
If you're going over the road, I would just get the van. If you're gonna get
Okay.
a box truck with a cutaway, you're getting
Yeah.
the 3500 cutaway. I mean, that's more for local work. I mean,
Gotcha.
there was this one guy doing OTR in the 60. He was claiming he was making tens of thousands, but I think he was running illegally because he's one of those people that just
Oh shoot.
disappeared during the
Yeah.
pandemic. But
Yeah.
a 16 footer I think is good for local work. If you're gonna do
Yeah.
over the road, I would just get the van.
I
Gotcha.
would just get the van. Yeah, I would get the
350.
van. I mean, if you
Gotcha.
can afford the 350, go for it. Go for it. I mean,
I mean, if I'm going for something new anyways, and I'm going to have to bust my butt to pay off every month, I might as well just get something that works well, and
hmm
not cut corners this time, because I could not for the life of me, someone that did not have any experience in this field, go for a brand new vehicle right off the bat. I just couldn't do it. I'm not
smart,
raised like that, you
smart,
know.
smart. Just make sure if
And
you get the
even though,
make sure if you
yes,
get the 3500, just get the single wheelbase. Don't get the dual wheelbase.
yep, yeah, um, I understand because of the pallets,
Yep.
and yeah, I
hmm
I understand that. But
hmm
I mean, I still have 19 grand left, so when I buy the new vehicle, I'll still be making payments on the old one. And I don't know what to do with that vehicle. I mean, the trade-in value is like around 2 to 3 grand at a dealership, and I cannot do anything but a dealer because there's still uh there's still financing going on that. So I can't just sell it to, like,
Wait,
an
you said
individual.
you said you owe 19 on it,
Yes,
and
that's how stupid this financing thing is.
when did you buy this van? What year is it? When did you
Two
buy
two
it?
year it's a I bought it 2 years ago. It's a 2014 Ram ProMaster, but I bought it just a couple of years ago. I bought it 2020, beginning of 2023, in
And
January.
how much you pay for it?
I The whole thing comes to around 25 grand. Like I said, I mean, you have to pay for being stupid. You have to pay the stupid fine. And
Wait. You bought it in beginning 2023. You've been paying on 22 years. Where'd you buy it from? Did you buy it from a Ram dealer or did you buy it from like
yeah,
some?
yeah, it's a Ford dealership, but yeah, I mean, it's a
So
Ford dealership selling Ram
what was the
as
financing?
well.
Who's
I'm gonna
financing
take a
them?
look at this. The company is called Kemba Financials.
And this you
I'm
bought
gonna
it
take
from
a
a
look at
Ford.
it.
You bought it from a Ford dealership.
Yes,
What's the what's the
it's
what's the what's the a what's
it.
the interest rate?
I'm gonna look at it again. I think it's somewhere in the vicinity of 9.09, but
And
I
what's the
might be
note?
off a little bit.
What's the note on that?
It was 25 and change.
No, how much you paying monthly?
Oh, 500 a month. It
So
was
what you
supposed to
got
be
to
like
you
437 something, and I pay five.
so you took it out for 72 months, didn't you?
Yes,
I just did the math real quick in my head once you said
yes,
72 months.
yeah. It's 72
So
months.
you
My idea was that, hey, let's just get it for a long amount of time, but try to pay it off as quick as possible. Didn't did not take into account what happens if the damn thing keeps on breaking to a point where I'm actually paying twice more in repairs than the actual note monthly.
well, here's the thing. When it comes to stuff like that, you want to get some pre-owned certified. It probably was too old to be pre-owned
Yeah,
certified at that point.
yeah,
But here's
yeah.
another tip. I wouldn't buy, you always want to buy used equipment from the manufacturer dealer. So you don't want to buy like a Ram from a Ford, or you don't want to buy Ford from Ram, or you don't want to buy a Chevy from Ford because they're not, if they take something in on a trade in,
Hmm.
it's their vehicle. So
Right.
if something's going on with it, they're not going to put it on their lot. They're going to send it straight to the auction. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you were to go to Ram
Yeah.
and that vehicle would have been sitting on the lot, I'm not saying nothing may not happen, but
Right.
just an insider tip, you have a little bit more assurance that they've went through all the point inspections because they're not going to put
Gotcha.
nothing on their used car lot that
Yeah.
could possibly run into issues. I mean, they still, it's as is, right? But
Right.
still, they don't want anybody calling. So things that they're too risky, they're just going
Yeah.
to send that shit. They're going to send it to auction.
So when you go, like if you go buy a Ford, like if you do go
Yeah.
buy the Transit, make sure you buy a
Yeah.
used Transit at a Ford dealership. Don't go buy it at a Chevy. Don't go buy
Yeah.
it at a Ram. Whatever you buy used for the van, make sure it's
Right.
at the manufactured dealership, because they've
Gotcha.
taken it through the full however many point inspection, and they will not put something that's that's has anything going on their used
Right.
car lot. They will send that shit straight to auction. If it's on the
Gotcha.
lot, you have
Yeah.
you got some type of assurance that okay, they feel confident about it.
Yeah.
So it gives you a little bit more assurance. So
Right.
the other dealerships, they're not going to go through all that. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Do you recommend, Mark, for somebody like me that's not, I mean, the only thing I know about cars is how to drive. I drive very well. I got the best experience driving, best record, but that's about all that I know about it. For someone like me, do you still recommend I get a used vehicle?
Me personally, I've always all my equipment that I out of all my equipment that I bought, I only bought 2 vehicles new. Everything else was used. I took a
Okay,
mechanic with
gotcha.
me. We
Yeah.
stayed there the whole day. We went through as many vehicles as we could, and
Yeah.
then my mechanic, we started eliminating vehicles, and then I made a decision based off of his diagnostics of test driving vehicles, and
Yeah.
all day. Like we were there from the moment they opened, and we were there after they closed. Like the business part was expressed because all my used vehicles, I bought them. I just wrote a check. I just bought them right out. We
Right.
spent the day just testing as many vehicles um as we could. Just take a mechanic with
Right.
you. Take a mechanic with you.
Gotcha.
Pay them, and
Right.
just have some type of expertise there. I've never had an
Do you
issue with any of my
recommend
used vehicles. Go ahead.
diesel over gas, or
I
does
mean,
it even matter
you're going
to you?
OTR. You're going OTR. So me, I would want something that's going to be burned slower. So
Gotcha.
that's me
Okay.
personally. I don't.
Yeah. The
So
OTR thing is also
some
kind of up in the air because
so, so,
I want to do it. Go ahead.
some people prefer gas, but to me,
Yeah.
it's situational. So if I'm OTR, I want something that's going to burn slower. Me
Gotcha.
personally, I'm not a fan of diesel.
Right.
But if I was running hard OTR, I want something that burnt slower. Me personally. So it's up to
Gotcha.
you.
Right. So, I mean, this is where we're at. For somebody that was talking about you being hard, hey man, just want to let everybody know, Mark does sound hard sometimes, but let me tell you this: life is gonna be harder. It's gonna kick your ass if you're not doing it right, and you're gonna feel it. So just listen to the damn dude. He knows what he's doing. He has experience, and he's doing it for free. I did not pay him one iota, and he's taken every one of my calls. I've been cordial to him. He's been courteous to me. He can match your energy. If you haven't already understood that, it's about time. Anyway, thank you
I'm
so much, Mark.
I'm glad you recognize that. Some people just think I just beat up on people for fun or something. Like I match the energy. If you come up here and you're ignorant and you
Yeah.
haven't done an ounce of research,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to get the satire is going to come out. We're going to turn it into a show. It's still going to be educational,
Right.
but there's going to be a lot of entertaining in the midst of all that. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you for acknowledging that and noticing that
Yeah.
it's situational how I deal with people that hit the link. However, it goes is based on the
Right.
energy that is presented. So I'm glad, hopefully, you figure that out. Just make sure that you
Yeah.
make the best decision. Don't, I'm not saying you're desperate, but I know what you're going through as far as, I've never had a Ram ProMaster, but,
Hmm.
the amount of stories that I hear about them,
Yeah.
I know based on the amount of stories, being a content creator in this space,
Yeah.
I hear about guys with these pro masters all the time. So I kind of know
Right.
what you're going through, but don't make a haste decision.
Yeah.
Still think it through, price around, because you're upside down 19. That
Right.
19 is going to get tacked on. So I don't
Yep.
know whatever you're looking at. Have you priced out what you're looking at?
I I I looked at some of them, but I looked at from the Mercedes-Benz point of view. I'm gonna start looking from the Ford 350, um,
So
point of
the
view,
Mercedes, the
and see how
Mercedes
it
you were
goes.
looking, Mercedes you were looking at, what were the price points at the prices you were looking at from a price
The best price
perspective?
that I looked at was 49 something for a brand new Mercedes-Benz with 170 wheelbase, and that was one out of all the others in the entire US.
So now you're looking at
But I
about
did not.
70,000 if you
Yep.
trade this
Yep.
in plus interest.
Yep.
So you're looking
Yep.
at close to maybe a hunt, depending on what your interest rate is.
About 11, maybe 1,000 or
Yeah,
1,100, something like
yeah.
that.
So maybe like 85,000. Let's say 85,000. Let's round it up.
Yep. Yep.
So that's a lot of money, man.
It is. It is, and that's why one of my guys, he works in a local logistics company. He was telling me that maybe once I get a new van, it may be time I actually get my own authority, so I can get like a better
Let me ask you this:
better rates.
what work have you done? What work have you had done on the transmission?
Good question. I wish I knew. Transmission went out. They
You
did
got to
their
know this
thing,
stuff.
and that's the thing. They charged me 1,400 the first time. They charged me 1,100 the second time, and right now they're telling me, hey, you know what? The spark plugs.
So
I said the spark plugs already got changed out. But they said, yeah, it might be the coils again. I said, you literally just changed out the coils 3 weeks ago. They said, well, it may be the other coils, the ones that didn't get changed out. And so that's going to be 1,100 again. I'm like, oh my God.
see, so it sounds like they're just guessing. And the thing
They're
with these
guessing.
the
Yeah.
things with these transmissions, I had a vehicle many moons ago that was under
Yep.
warranty, and I don't want to say that they were guessing with it under the warranty, but I think they were putting band-aids on the problem instead of just changing the transmission because they didn't want to
Right.
they didn't want to spend the money. They eventually did, and then they eventually had to buy me back out of the car and put me
Right.
into something brand new. But I'm asking you because I'm asking you, have you priced to see what it would cost to just put a rebuilt transmission in there? I mean, to be honest with you, how many miles are on the thing?
It's 234,000 at the moment.
234.
Yep. And
All
I
right,
bought
so
it at
this is
170, so I've only used it for
all right.
64,000
So
miles.
so ask me what I would do.
What would you do, Mr. Mark?
All right, so you got 19,000 you still own this van.
Yep.
What does your cash flow look like?
Cash flow. Usually I gross around 1,600. Then after
How does your
after
cash
the
flow look?
usual
What are you
expenses,
looking at? What are you looking right now in cash flow? Just
I'm
don't give me
looking
a
at
total number, but
around.
give me an average. Just give me an
My
estimate.
average is about 600 left at the end of the week. Uh,
Total. What do
After
you
all
got
the
to play with? What do you got to play
yeah,
with right
that's
now?
that's about it per
Six
week.
hundred
At the end,
bucks
after all the expenses, yeah. And once I take out
total.
my
I'm talking
own,
about. I'm
yep.
talking about what do you got in your business bank account? Give me an estimate number. Total. I want your
Right now, I
total.
probably I probably have like 900 in the bank account, and that's why it's so messed up because I'm paying these notes and then I'm paying for the gas. I
Uh,
I try not to let the credit
s-
card go up when I'm buying these,
So so let me ask you
buying.
this: what are you
Go
doing?
ahead.
Are you running all week, or why you
I'm
have a little
I'm
cash
running.
flow?
I'm running about 5, sometimes 6 days a week, and le- today's a very average day. I'm out on the road since 7 in the morning, and it's about 11 o'clock EST right now, and I have not gotten home. I'm
All right,
basically talking to you. I'm basically home. So
all right.
about
So,
half an hour
but
ago, I got home.
I want to figure out why you don't have any cash flow. How much are you paying yourself?
About 1,000 a week.
And your cash flowing about 900 a week, 600 a week. You said,
Well, what's coming in is about 1,600 a week, and from that, I'm taking 1,000 for
and paying yourself
myself,
with it. Why?
paying myself
Why?
cause my own personal account looks like crap.
All right. So
You
so
know.
so 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 you're robbing from the sustainability of business.
Yep, that's
All right.
exactly it.
All
Cause
right.
you got
So
rent on your head and all these other things.
all right. So let me tell you what I would do. It don't look like
Yes,
you're
sir.
gonna be able to do it because all right. What about credit? What does your credit look like?
Credit is perfect. Credit, I think it's like 8
Not your
806, something
score.
like
How
that.
much? How much do you have in available credit to
Oh,
spend?
probably 22,000
All right.
in two different credit cards.
I wouldn't buy a new van. I wouldn't go upside down. You
Okay.
trade that van in, you're screwing yourself further.
Yes, and that's why
I
I
would
haven't. I
I
figured
would
I just juice it as much as I can.
you got a 2014. What I would do, I wouldn't think
Yeah.
twice about it. The last thing I'd be thinking about is a new van. I would go put a new transmission in there. You're gonna
Okay.
come out cheaper putting a new transmission in there than you are
Yeah.
going and getting a $50,000 transit because everybody always thinks this is the answer. Oh, the
Right.
transmission's going out. You go put yourself in deeper debt for a
Yeah.
$5,000 or $6,000 fix, or maybe less. I don't know what market you're in. You can go get a rebuilt transmission. You can take it to
Right.
Jose or Velasquez and
Yep.
one of those guys, and they could
Yeah.
get you. They can go to LKQ, and you might be able to find you one, and then they might be able to put it in for 3,500 all the way around the board. It's going to be rebuilt, but that may give you another 80,000 miles. It's better than going another $70,000-$80,000 in debt.
Right.
Or if a new one is a $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever it is, I'm just estimating. I know it's going to be in
Yeah.
this ballpark somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Because you got a 250, you got 2,500 or
It's a
3,500.
it's a
All right.
25.
So
Yeah.
let's say 4 or 5,000. I'm just guesstimating. I haven't bought a
Right.
transmission in a while. That's a better that's that's a better answer than going putting yourself $85,000 in debt. I'm not going to trade in a van that I still owe $19,000 on
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
$5,000 fix. I'm just not going to do it.
That's what I
If
was
you got
thinking at first, but
okay,
then when you take a look at how sometimes I feel like the mechanics just swindle me. That's why I have to change mechanics every so often because it doesn't make any sense what they're telling me. It sounds like a bullshit story, and
well,
I'm not the
well,
kind of guy that pushes back too much.
that's the problem.
Could be, yeah.
That's the problem. Listen. The moment people smell blood, they're gonna bite.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Don't be a middle American, even if you're from middle America. You can't act like a middle
Right,
America. Act like you grew up in
right,
Brooklyn or something. Act like you
right.
grew up in streets of
I actually
Chicago.
grew up in Queens.
Oh
It's
man,
funny
you
you
grew up
say
in
that.
Queens, then you
Yeah,
shouldn't be a pushover.
yeah.
You should go in there and
I
push your
think I
way
lived in
through.
north of Houston suburbs way too long, I guess. I wasn't like that before
Yeah, man.
growing
Listen,
up.
when it comes to business, your equipment,
Yeah,
especially going over the road, is
yeah,
eventually it's going to fail. But I'm just being
yeah,
honest with you. I'm being honest with you. You're looking at $85,000 and
yeah.
$5,000. Like me, we shouldn't even
Right,
be having this conversation. I would have been told them just swap the trans. Listen, I'm gonna make it easy for y'all. Just put a new transmission in here.
right,
Because now I got a new transmission, or even if I get a rebuilt one, some type of warranty is going to come on that transmission, right?
right.
and I just alleviated myself 75 or 76,000 or whatever the transmission is in comparison to being upside down 20, adding that
Right.
to 50 plus interest.
Exactly.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go get another trans, bro. Listen, I had a vehicle, I put 2 transes in it. It wasn't nothing. It's a day's worth
Oh.
of work. It's a day's
Okay.
worth of work.
Oh wow.
A trans,
Okay.
why are people scared? Like, an engine is one thing. A trans, that's nothing.
Gotcha.
It's like a
All
day and a
pros of
half,
wisdom,
2 days
man.
worth of work. I'm not tripping over no transmission. That's me personally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not gonna go spend 70 when I can go spend 5.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's just me, bro. I
Yeah.
don't, you know.
I at the moment before getting your advice, I told my wife, I was like, you know what, instead of just getting another van just right away, because I was getting a really good deal as far as I thought with the
He,
Mercedes with the
he,
49,000,
he not in
but
a tractor. He in a van. He's in a van. He's in a
yeah,
van.
not a tractor.
He's not in a tractor. He's in a van. So maybe $5,000-$6,000. I haven't priced
My
it,
thing is
but
that if I can't make it in a cargo van, I'm not gonna graduate to a box truck. Simple as that. So I told my wife, let's just juice this damn car out as long as we can, without putting any more money into repairs. Let's just keep it going.
all right. So
Let's
I'm
figure
looking
it
at
out.
a 2014 Ram Pro Master used
Yeah.
$2,000. Here's one for 3,100. Here's one for
Yeah.
3,300, 25. I was right. So then they probably
Yep.
charge you another 1,500 to put it in,
Yep.
$2,000. It's
Yep.
$5,000. I told you. I just guessed it
Right.
because I know the ballpark. Because I've
Right.
had to replace, not for a Ram, but for a spec similar a couple
Right.
times in one of my older vehicles, and the guy who I goes to, he only charges $900 to put it in. So you get you a rebuilt
Oh
one,
wow. Yeah.
you know, I mean, this is rebuilt, and then
Gotcha.
you just pay him to put it in.
Yeah. I'll
You
find
gotta
out.
do the research,
Yeah.
bro. No, don't go buy a new
Yeah.
van. That van,
Right.
you should have that van forever. If you're gonna go buy another van, it should be a van to add to your fleet.
Right. Right. That was the idea before it started breaking down like crazy.
It's gonna break
And then
down.
and then
I
and then your
mean,
confidence is all shook up when the mechanics take a look at your van. They're like, not sure exactly what's going on.
well, I had a my first 7 series my first 7 series, it just, you know, those 7 series back in the day, they just always
Hmm.
had problems. And once that thing got to about 35, 40,000 miles, the turbo kept
Yeah.
going out. And it's still under
Oh
warranty.
shoot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it was still under warranty.
Right.
And 1 year, that thing sat at the dealership for damn near almost a year. They kept giving it to
Dang.
me. 2 weeks, the turbo will go out.
It
They'll
went
change the
on.
spark
Yeah.
plug, the turbo will go out. They do it, the
Yeah.
turbo will go out. So they were band-aiding it because I think they knew, but they said they told me they couldn't diagnose. It's a German car. So I'll never forget. They told me, they were like, look, man, we're gonna put this on a Pac-Man. I'm like, what the hell is a Pac-Man? It was like, it's a
Yeah.
computer where the um the mechanics in Germany are going to be able to communicate with the car
Oh shoot.
from over there, so they're going to diagnose it. And then that's when
Yeah.
BMW North America said, we're going to buy the car back from you, you know, pick another car off the showroom and we'll redo a
Gotcha.
deal. And you know what I'm saying? So there are times where, you know, they may not be able to figure out, but you know,
Yeah.
and before they bought it back, they replaced the transmission, but they put a brand new trans in there and the turbo still kept having issue. So, you know, there are times where the mechanics don't know. You know what I'm saying? I've had a situation
Right.
like that. It's just lucky for me. It was a new car, so it was under warranty, and
Right.
they bought it back. But if I were you, with that, since it's 2014, it's 10 years old, man, just swap the damn transmission.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just
That makes sense.
that's don't put yourself don't don't
Yeah, cause I'm digging a bigger ditch than I can handle
listen.
that
If you're
way. Like if
listen,
I get a
let
new
me
one.
let me let me let me tell you something. If your note is $500 now, what do you think your
Right.
note is going to be financing something that's 85,000?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
Have you ever owned $100,000 car before?
Nah, never.
Okay. All right. So then, where your note is at right now, in comparison to where you'll be pushing $100,000, it's a big difference.
Right.
If if
That
you're
makes
not
sense.
cash flowing right now, what makes you think you're going to
Hmm.
cash flow when your note triples?
Right.
And guess what? You go get a Mercedes Benz 3500. What do you think your insurance is going to be in comparison to what your insurance is on the 2014 right now? If you're struggling right
Right.
now,
Yep.
the answer isn't run from your problem, put yourself in a deeper
Uh-huh.
debt, thinking you're going to work your
Right.
way out of it. Because I heard you say, I'm going to work. Sounds like you're working
Yeah.
now. But
I'm working like crazy right now.
if you're but I talk about this all the time. If your cost of living is very, very
Yeah.
expensive to the point where you're robbing from your business week after week after week, if you're grossing
Yeah.
1,600 and you're taking 1,000 from it, then your business is operating poorly. Your business is poor.
Right.
You're richer than your business, and it should be the other way around. Your business has no money to sustain. This is why you're in the situation that you're in, because if the business did, we wouldn't even be
Right.
having this conversation. You would have been you would have went and
Yeah.
did the actual research that I just before I even did the research, I told you what the trans would be. I just went and
That's right.
just wanted to clarify it. I mean, this is a $5,000 fix at most.
Yeah. But that's what I thought every time when I was making repairs. Every time something would break down, I was like, okay, just instead of getting a new van, let's just get it paid off, repair it, pay it off, and then move on.
That's
But
what you should
something
do.
just keeps going on over and over and over.
Well, replace the whole problem. Here's the thing:
Right.
they may know it needs, but if we keep band-aiding and band-aiding and band-aiding over a period of
Yeah.
time, we're going to get more money out of you. If we could charge you 1,100 this time for change
Right.
a spark plug or two, tell
That's
you,
the
oh
thing.
well, it's this coil 1,200. Oh, 1,100
Right.
here, 1,100 there.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We got to change the transmission. And then, no, man, I wouldn't even go to the dealer. I would find me a Velasquez somewhere,
Yep.
transmission spot.
Jose. Yep.
Jose, they're going to go to LKQ or find you someone where
Yep.
you can go to LKQ, buy it from them. They'll pick it up and deliver it to the shop, and then they'll charge you
Right.
1,000 or something bucks to put it in. And voila,
Gotcha.
now you got a whatever warranty they're going to give you on the rebuilt one, whether it's, I don't know what type of, they give you, LKQ will give you a warranty. You know what LKQ is, right?
No,
That's the auto parts place.
I'm too new.
Okay, so go to LKQ or something like that. They're gonna give you some type of warranty. It's not gonna be like a
Hello.
10-year warranty, maybe a year or 6 months or 90 days, whatever it is. But it's rebuilt. They've taken it apart, cleaned it, done
Right.
whatever they did, put it back together, and they'll probably get you, I don't know. I'm just guesstimating here based off of my
So, right.
experience. Maybe another 80,000 miles, but it's better
Right.
than putting yourself in $85,000 of debt and
Right.
you're struggling right now. So I would
Right.
not do that. I mean, it sounds like you're gonna have to use your credit,
Yeah.
but
Probably so.
yeah.
But I'm
So
I'm usually good with credit. Like I try to pay it off as quick as possible.
what you're gonna have to find something to do to lower your cost of living too.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I don't know what it is. I haven't asked you. I'm not gonna really get into that right now. But what's your cost per
Yeah.
mile?
With this thing, it's like around $1.80.
What? No.
Without
What?
this,
What is it?
It's like
Without what?
95 cents
Without what?
without the repairs that are going on, but that's variable expense. But if you're looking at your general uh, expense that do not change, it's around 95 cents per mile.
What's your current cost per mile?
Current with the repairs going on, it's
When is the
about
last time?
dollar eight.
When is the last time you did your cost per mile?
About a month ago,
And it was a
few weeks
dollar
back.
eight
It was $1.80.
in a van.
Yeah,
How are you profiting if you're running expedite in a van? You're not
and
getting.
that's the thing.
You're not getting
And that's
loads
the
nowhere
thing.
near that.
Before exactly before that, things were going better without all these repairs coming in the way. So I was averaging a lot better. Like you were saying just a little before we connected on the video. Um, you remember you said if you're breaking even, you're actually not making money. You're actually losing money.
Hmm.
That's what's starting to happen now. Before it was close to breaking even. Now it's a little bit more than, or I should say, less than breaking even. So
What load
things are
boards
getting
are you
tight.
running? Who are you using?
I'm not. I don't use load boards. Basically, I hooked up with a company. I'm using their MC number. They find me the loads. They run me, and that's what one of my um, friends that works in a separate logistics company in Indiana. He was telling me, dude, you need to get away from that kind of situation. If you get a van, a reliable van, get your own authority, get your MC, get your dot, and hire a dispatcher.
Let me ask you this: how much are you paying to them to lease on?
Oh, I'm paying anything. They basically it's like a share. So they're paying me about 63% um from the loads that they're giving me.
Okay, and that's averaging out to about $1,600 gross for the week.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And how far are you
Sometimes
going?
it's more, sometimes less, but it's average.
What radius are you running?
I mostly do Columbus for like 200 miles with around Columbus, Ohio. But every now and then they'll have like some sort of an expedited deal where they need me to take like a small little box and just run it to
All right.
Wisconsin or
So
Chicago or somewhere. Then
this
I'll
is your
do that.
problem. And are you trying to stay in this radius, or you're willing to go further?
I don't care about the radius. I can
All
go
right.
wherever because I need the money.
So this is where your problem is. You're confined.
Yeah.
Like I got a guy in my Discord that's making over $4,000 a week in this van.
Okay. Wow.
So one, you're
And
not
that's
making
what this
enough
guy's
money.
telling me. That's what this guy's telling me. The other guy that I'm talking to, that's what he's telling me that it's an average cargo van guy here in his company. They're making about 3,000, 31, 3,200 a week.
Well, it sounds like you're being limited, you're being confined, and you're reliant on someone else. You're, rel- you're
Yeah.
reliant on someone else. Your destiny is not in your own hands. So as long as
Right.
you don't have control of your destiny, then you're just going to be confined and limited to whatever they want to give you. If he's telling you that he has people making twice as much as you,
Right.
why aren't you making that? And then I know people that are in my Discord that are making over $4,000 a week in the same cargo van that you have, except this guy's guy that I'm thinking in my head, he has a 3500 Pro
Okay.
Master. Like, you're not running enough. $1,600 ain't nothing. If you were making
Right.
$4,000, then like
Yeah.
you need to get away from that guy. He's holding you back.
Agreed.
Listen. I don't know why you don't want to get your own thing, but nobody's going to stop my money. Nobody's going to stop my motion. I'm not dependent on anybody. And this is a classic example. When you depend on people,
Right.
you're they're holding your destiny in the palm of their hands. Your fate.
Right.
So if I were you,
Yeah.
I'd break away,
Hmm.
and you might want to, run on your own.
Own
Why? I don't
authority.
understand why. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Sign up with my
That makes
Discord,
sense.
man. Sign up with my
I will.
Discord. There's a
Yeah.
guy in there. When you sign up, just when you get in there, give me a message, and then I'll tag the guy that I want you to talk to, and then
Okay.
he's the specialist for expedited in there, and then
Okay. Gotcha.
he's gonna get you together. But you got to do
Okay.
everything he tells you to do.
Right.
Everybody that does exactly what he tells them to do is
Right.
winning. The people who are
There you go.
combative, or
Right.
I got to get home to my wife and all this dumb shit,
Right.
you got to do what he tells you to do. You got a van to do expedited, so that means you're going to be over the road. You're going to run the road, but you're going to make the money.
Right.
So as
Gotcha.
long as you have no restrictions, he's
Yeah.
going to get the radius together for you. He's going to hook you up with the right shit, and you just got to do what he tells you to do.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you how appreciative I am. Thank you.
No problem. Good luck, my friend.
All right. Bye now.
All right, bye. All right. Anybody else? Any detractors? Any detractors? I think I want to talk to a detractor. Listen, it's Christmas. I'm in a good mood. I need some exercise. Where's Chauncey or anybody that wants to come up here and argue or debate? Is Dizzy in here, or is he hiding? I like Dizzy, but those clips had to come out. I had to. Listen. I saved those interactions were maybe August. The first one was August, and I got plenty more Dizzy clips. I got plenty more Dizzy content, but that Dizzy interactions was in August. I waited to Christmas to. I said this is going to be great Christmas gifts to everybody. Yes. So Dizzy, if you in here and you want to talk, now is your time. Any other detractors, any other critics, or anybody that got anything to say, now is your time. We talked about CPM. If you don't know what it costs you to run your business, and here's something I want to say too. I want to say this. If anybody want to call, fine, I'll take your call. But if not, then I'm gonna retire after I say this. Because after watching these clips, and they're funny and shit like that. But here's the thing. I don't understand why people don't want to be smart. I don't understand why people don't want to be smart. Listen, if you're investing into something and you're going to spend your hard-earned dollars, however you got it, even if you got PPP, you worked hard filling out the application, whatever, I don't care. Whatever you did to come up with the money to start this business, why don't you want to do what's in the best interest? Why don't you want to be smart? Why is it a bad thing in 2025 to be smart? The smartest people always get to the top. In anything they do, the smart people always succeed. People that win are smart. Smart people win majority of the time. The reason why I could scale is because I was smart. I was naturally smart, but I educated myself more into what I was involved in. Anything that I put my hands into and that I get involved in and I become obsessed with, I want to win at it. So I educate myself. Even with this, I know. I looked at the landscape of the competition. If you've been following my channel, it evolves. Why? I already have the information. I have the experience. I saw that as far as experience, there was only one other person in this space that is as tenured as me. So, boom, that's my strong point. I'm more experienced than all these other guys. All right, let's make the channel fun. Let's make it entertaining. We got the best education because we got the most experience. Now let's invest money. Let's commit to it. Let's not be fair weather with it. Let's stream every day or at least 5 days a week. Let's drop videos. You know what? Let's outsource thumbnails. Let's outsource editing. Let's invest money into it. Because I'm involved in it, so I want it to look good. I want it to feel good. I want the engagement and the viewers to not just listen but enjoy. I want the camera to be crystal clear. I want to be the best. Anything, I want to win. But I'm going to do what I need to do to put myself in a position to ensure that I win. And that's educate myself. People like to sit up here and act like, or just sound crazy. Like, to me, sounding crazy, like, I don't understand. And there was a young guy, I think he's in here now, and I gave him kudos. Even when he left the room the next day, I was talking about him. He spoke for a long time in the Discord the other day. Young guy, 29 years old, spoke really articulate. He just knew what he was talking about. He wasn't stuttering and, thinking, and like, he spoke and the conversation flowed. Smart people recognize smart people. There's nothing wrong with being smart. Why do, when you tell somebody, man, you should know your cost per mile, that, like, you want to tell me and I'm talking about Dizzy, or I'm a street nigga. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? As soon as you challenge somebody on something that has to do with using this, they divert. It's cool to be smart. I don't give a fuck what nobody tells you. Smart people win. Ignorance, you'll get by. Depending on your situation, you may get by longer than some of the other people who are ignorant. And then that's the problem. You've been getting by, and you don't realize your days are numbered. You don't want to invest time into educating yourself. The Bears were playing tonight. I don't give a fuck about the Bears. I came here to kick it with y'all and educate people. I don't care about the Bears playing on Thursday night. I care more about coming here and educating the community. If you invest your money into something, it's your responsibility. If you invest your money into something, it's your responsibility to educate yourself on it. Like 2025, we can't get up here and not know our cost per mile and not know what it's costing us to run our business and not know entry-level shit that you should know for the industry that you're in. Like, I'm going to be tougher on you. I'm going to be hard on you. I don't care about what naysayers say. Because they trying to figure it out. I figured it out and I've already won. And it's not to brag or to shame, but if you got somebody, and just like the guy said, energy, like, bro, I will talk to you. I will give you everything that I have up here. Pause. And I won't ask you for a dime. But if you come up here and you display ignorance, I know how to meet that. That's when that west side, that south, that east side of Chicago, you're going to get that mark. You're going to get that mark. You still going to get the nuggets, like N.W. Lou say. But I'm going to meet you and I'm going to match you with what you understand. See, I want to educate you with the language that you understand. It's okay to be smart, like Dizzy, N.W. Lou. I know you watch it because I seen you in the chat. And other guys like them that like to fight when we talk about cost and shit like that. We got to stop making ourselves look ignorant. This is why we stigmatized. It's why we stereotype. This is why the failure rate is so high. It's going to continue to stay high because majority of the people are going to continue to do the same shit. But if you're studying everything and you're watching this and you've seen what I put on display and what I continuously put on display, and you say, yo, because if I were a novice coming in and I saw the landscape of what the competition looked like, I would be rubbing my hands together. Oh, they fool. It's easy. They don't know how to count. They don't know they cost per mile. Oh, man, I'm rubbing my hands together. Let's eat. I'm finna eat. The more people that don't do what's in their best interest, the better it is for the people who do. And then people blame, oh, they're the reason why the rates are so low. No, they're not. It's just like I told a guy the other day, focus on what you got going on. Dizzy, worried about what other moving companies make, don't know its cost per mile. A number that ain't even an exorbitant number to do a move for 2,000 miles, he thinks it's a lie. Why? Because here's the reason. Because he doesn't know what it costs to run his business when he was a manager at a moving company, and because they didn't calculate cost, it's embedded in his head that a number of $20,000 is a really exorbitant number. So they do things at a loss or they work for tips because they don't understand what it costs. And then when they hear of people getting numbers that they never made, they call it cap. So it's cap when you tell a person you did something, but then when you ask an individual what it costs them to run their business, they say it depends on the rate. Here's a guy that's been on YouTube in the house for the past 2 years with all costs associated, and the guy is telling me what I made or didn't make that doesn't even know what it costs to run their business. This is the ignorance. And then you wonder why we behind. The smart people always make it to the top. The only thing you got to do to be smart is to educate yourself. Business is going to have ups and downs. There's going to be challenges. Shit's going to happen. If anybody going to tell you it's going to be challenges in this business, me, I'm always keep it a buck with you. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You can lighten that load a little bit when you educate yourself. Y'all ever wonder why people won't hit that link? Do you ever wonder why they won't never hit that link? They're not blind. It's safer not to hit it. See, I'm expressing and displaying the power of education and how dangerous it is. And you don't even know it. A lot of people don't even know it. See, they don't understand the method to the madness. Everything that I do in general, but speaking from this perspective, is done with a reason. When I put videos out, I just don't say I'm gonna put this out today. I put certain things out at certain times purposely. Some people understand the whole premise and the storyline behind everything. And then when I do the live streams and how I kind of integrate, some people understand the whole message. Some people just think, oh, he's picking on people. No. I'm showing you what it looks like to run your business ignorantly. There's a lesson that can be learned from it. And then I come up here and I tell you everything you should do to not do that and to do things the right way so that you can succeed. Some people ain't gonna like it. Some people will take heed to it. I've been on here long enough now that I'm credible. Showed you everything. So it's up to you. All right. Industry ain't going nowhere. Industry going to change. A lot of things are going to happen next year, believe it or not, that may be detrimental to the gig economy. I was talking about that earlier in the Discord. Yeah, a lot of things are going to happen next year that are going to be, it's going to put a little dent in the gig economy as far as, final mile delivery. But, you got to stay ahead. You got to be prepared. So I'm prepared. All right. Nobody's coming up. James said he don't listen. Yeah, James, you was one of the first people. James was the first person I held accountable, and I felt bad. I felt bad for holding him accountable. I didn't feel bad for him. I felt bad because I held him accountable. He was the first person that I held accountable on camera. So, and James still out here making bad decisions. So we got to hold James. We got to continue to hold James accountable. Hopefully James figure it out. But shout out to you, James. You got to make better decisions, man. All right. You got to make better decisions, man, James. All right. Shout out to everybody. Who's this? Shout out to Corey. What's going on? Pippi. Running Warrior says far too many resources readily available to still operate in the I don't know state of mind. They got those cost per mile calculators. Some people need to download those or something. And here's the thing, Running Warrior, believe it or not, a lot of the guys that don't know their cost per mile do have those cost per mile calculators. They just don't utilize them. It goes back to the laziness. the extra time. When I did that live stream about 3-4 months ago where I talked about the work associated with your business that that you're not being paid for, the shit that you do that you're not being paid for, like the accounting, the stuff that you do when you're parked at a truck stop and you're sitting there for 10 hours, that time period. Calculating your cost. Educating yourself on the business, prepping yourself for the future, planning. What do people do? They go take a shower, they turn on Netflix, and they go to sleep, or they get on the phone and they cake, or they do some shit that is not beneficial for the growth of their business. Like the early stages of your business, you're gonna be doing your most work. You constantly should be educating yourself throughout your tenure, throughout your career as being a business person in this industry. But you should be spending more time at the early stages because you are still seeking knowledge. You aren't experienced yet. There's a lot of things you don't know. Like you should be obsessed with educating yourself on this business. In 15, 20 years, you should be sitting up here educating and speaking from an experience point of view, helping out the next generation of people that are coming into this space. No matter how much I say it, it goes in one ear and out the other. People are scared to pick up a book, scared to pick up a pencil, a piece of paper, and do a simple equation. Like, how hard is it to total up your months, the miles that you drove for the month and what you spent? Listen, if you do things and you streamline things, you got one business account. All your credits and all your debits are coming in one account. Even your business credit cards are being paid out of this account because this is where all the credits go to. You're going to get what's called a statement. That statement will show you the money that came in, and it'll show you the money that came out. If you're not misappropriating funds and you're not commingling and paying for Netflix and all this dumb shit for your personal expenses, and everything that's associated with that account is for the business via credit or debit, you could literally take the debit number, the amount that was spent out of that account at your statement for that month, and literally put it right here. I can I'm breaking this shit down so simple for people. You can literally just take your statement and put that debit number right here. You should know on the first of the month when you got in there, you know what? January 1st, 2025, I'm at 100,000 miles. When I park this truck on January 31st, I need to see how many miles I'm at. If I'm at 112,000 miles, then I need to write that down. So I know I went 12,000 miles. I need to account for this. I'm going to go to do my statement. I'm going to put that number there. I'm going to divide. Why is this shit so hard? This is the equation is simple. I know what. Most people are doing what they're not supposed to be doing. Most people are robbing from the sustainability of the business. It's a fact. It's a fact. Most people are taking money, like we just seen another classic example of. He was a nice guy, but we still got to use him as a case study. Robbing from the sustainability business. 1,600. 1,000 of it is going out for bills, personal bills. There's no accounting there. Business has no cash flow. One of the main reasons people don't do what's in their best interest because they don't want to see in reality how much they're hurting their business. You know what's going to hurt a person the most? For a person to really sit down and see what they grossed, and then to look at their actual business account and see $1,200 in it or $800. That's what they're running from. So then they like, where'd the money go? You spent it. You transferred it, you Zelled it, and you spent it. Whether you spent it because your cost of living, whatever, it could be minimal. If you transferred it and you spent it on your cost of living and you balled out, the fact of the matter is it's not where it should be. Or with what that total number is, you would expect to see a lot more in your business bank account. That's the reality of it. Well, why don't you lower your expenses? That's what I ask people too. But people don't want to do that. So then what person has to do is ask themselves the questions, what do they really want? MW Lou, I'm going to use NW Lou. Shout out to NW Lou.
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile. Congratulations to you, dog. Congratulations, my nigga.
There was a part in that video, and I never really reviewed that video because there was a lot of things in that video that I just, like I could really break that video down and just display the ignorance. Here's one thing that NW Lou said to me in that video. It came off as hate. And me and we had the conversation, but I need to explain something to people. Because based off what we just heard, here's a great example of setting yourself up to win. NW Lou criticized me for staying at home. MW Lou criticized me for staying at home while I built my business. Shout out to my OG for allowing me to do it. You know what's funny about that? And somebody caught it in the chat. Shout out to whoever that person is. Other ethnicities do that shit all the time. It's our ethnicity that doesn't, right? Either our parents push us out too soon, which, makes it difficult for us to save and build while we're figuring things out to find our way. Or, we leave the nest too early. I've said it numerous of times. My biggest investment was allowing to stay at home. Just being able to stay at home over a period of time while I built my business, all the money that I would have had to spend to cover my cost of living, I was able to reinvest it back into the business. And he criticized me for that. But now I sit in the house and do what I want to do. Why? Because I set myself up before I left, and when I left, I never came back. And when I left, I went exactly where I wanted to go. I've been here ever since. I've moved one time out my mom's house into here 10 years ago. People will criticize people like they did the wrong thing when they really did the right thing. I understood that cost of living is detrimental or can be detrimental to a new business owner. So I didn't leave the nest while I was building a business too prematurely. I was already at scale before I left. I was at scale before I left. I made sure the business was secure before I left. So that was another display of ignorance. Other ethnicities do this shit all the time. Well, Mark, how do you know? How do you think I know? How many grown 35-year-old men or women have I moved out of their parents' crib? I've moved married couples. I've moved married couples out of either the bride's family's home or the groom's family home. I've moved couples that have gotten married and lived together in one of the parents' homes. You know who's good for that? Pakistanians, Chinese. They save their money. They work. Their parents allow them to save. They build. They build. They build. But when we do it, Mark, your mom allowed you to stay home till you're 34. I had to get it since I was a baby. So what? That's your problem. Life is about choices and decisions. As a business person, you have to make smart decisions for the business and your personal life. Here's the problem. I've always been the person to make sacrifices to meet the needs of the business. I've never been the person to make sacrifices to meet the needs of Mark. Now, when your favorite content creators tell you, say this dumbass shit that don't amount to hill of beans, and y'all hit gems, that shit right there went over your head. I don't see a goddamn gem in the chat. See, a real business person is going to make sacrifices in totality to meet the needs of the business. I see people make sacrifices to meet the needs of them. I say, yo, the business comes before everything. People say, no, I put family before business. But you're up here asking me about some surface level shit and you don't even know your cost per mile. You think I would tell you that it's God, business, family if it was the other way around? Don't nothing come before God. It's a reason why the business becomes after God. Because if you leave your job to run a business and the business has to sustain the business and the household, something is going to be neglected. What are you going to prioritize? Well, guess what? If I prioritize family, the rent got to get paid, the mortgage got to get paid, the lights got to get paid, the gas got to get paid, the extracurricular activities got to get paid. But I'm spending time here, so nobody's making money. Mark, I got to take care of home. Well, that's why you up here and you don't know where the money is, or the money ain't there, or you don't know your cost per mile because you're spending more time with your family than at work. This is business. I don't care who tells you. Anybody that tells you the other way around, I guarantee you one thing, they're not successful. You can get to a point where that can become the case, but if you're on the new, how is that possible? How are you going to neglect the business that's not even built. You're in the beginning stages of building the foundation. The foundation isn't even built yet, and you're talking about because you heard the goddamn jingle on the box truck couple, family, God first, family second, then the money. Yo, that's not right. Shout out to them, but I'm just keeping it a buck. You put your family before your business on the new, you're neglecting the business. So how are you going to cover the family? Make that make sense to me. That's your problem. You meeting the needs of you. Once you become a business owner, you become a slave to the business. See, this is the shit you don't like. This is the Debbie Downer. Where Chauncey at? Chauncey ain't hit the link yet, pimp. Chauncey, where you at, pimp? You ain't hit the link yet? Where Chauncey at? We're going to pin Chauncey. We got to pin that comment to the top. Chauncey called me a Debbie Downer. God damn it. Where Chauncey at? Let me scroll all the way to the top. Chauncey was waiting for me to go live. Chauncey was the 1, 2, 3. Chauncey was the third comment. This said, this guy is a huge Debbie Downer. Chauncey got the notification and was sitting here waiting for me. He listened to the whole All Eyes on Me Tupac, waited for the truck stop commercial, waited for the goddamn it, the disclaimer. Took his time to write this in the chat for a person he don't like. See what I'm saying? I guarantee you this is a guy who's struggling. See how we waste our time on things that don't matter? Somebody to me that don't matter, I'm not wasting my time on it. I'm gonna see this is what's gonna happen. Once I get off this live stream, I'm gonna call my girl, I'm a cake. I may slide over there, she may slide over here. I'm gonna go to sleep. In the morning, I'm gonna get up, eat breakfast, brush my teeth, wash my face. I'm gonna do another live stream. By 12 o'clock, I'm gonna be back on live stream again. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm probably gonna stop at the grocery store. I may slide out to my OG crib. I may catch a movie with my girl. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up Saturday. I'm gonna stream again. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know why? Because for years, Mr. NW Lou, why you talking about?
I don't give a fuck about a cost per mile.
NW Lou, I don't think I waited, NW Lou. See, I'm patient. I've been waiting for months to critique that shit that you said. I don't jump the gun. I lay in the cut. That was some ignorant shit you said, NW Lou. That was ignorant. And you say NW Lou, and you all good. We can have a dialogue. But you all for the brother. Well, why shoot another brother down? Because they made the sacrifices to win. See, me, I would advocate for a person. You hear me advocate. Listen, how old are you? You got kids? Don't leave the crib. The one Hispanic kid, Angel, got 4 trucks this year. Even though he hard-headed to a degree, look how much he scaled by listening to 50% of what I said. He didn't move out. He didn't have no kids. He stayed at home, and he was able to scale up. Why? Because all he got is a cell phone bill. Personally, he hits the live stream from his bedroom with a bunk bed or whatever the hell. It still looks like his room when he was a teenager. The point is he's making a sacrifice. Even though he has the money, he's making a sacrifice to aggressively reinvest back into the business to grow. There will come a time when he can step out on his own. But right now is not the time. He's taking advantage of being able to stay at home and not have to pay $1,900 for rent. That's not going to be everybody's situation. But right now we're talking about sacrifice. a lot of people's sacrifice has to come on the personal side. Why? Because what you're doing is what's in the best interest of you. Even the gentleman that just came up here, I don't know what his personal situation is. I don't know if he has kids. I don't know what the situation is, but whatever it is, he's still doing what's in the interest of him. If you're grossing 16 and you're paying yourself 1,000, something has to give. And people rather take from the business and give to them, to their person. And that's the truth of the matter, man. It is what it is, So, NW Lou, Dizzy, I hope y'all both change y'all mindsets. Life is about choices and decisions. No one's going to hand you anything in business. If anything, they'll take. Classic example of what we just saw here earlier. People prey on weakness. People prey on people who are not outspoken, who are subtle. Even he admitted to being that. But when I say it, I'm harsh, I'm cruel. I tell you people are ruthless. I tell you people will take advantage of you. And you have people that come up here and admit it, subtly admit it. Even business to business, from a mechanic to a customer, if they see an opportunity, they will take full advantage of it. Why? To increase their revenue. If we can string this guy along for another 4 or 5 visits and get a couple more grand out of him before we really hit him with the kapow, and he just keeps forking over his card, why not? That's the name of the game. Business ain't a straight. It's too much ignorance, man. Too much ignorance on display. And you know what? I'm gonna keep showcasing it, whether you like it or you don't. People need to look at themselves in the mirror. People need to look at themselves in the mirror. That's why you got guys like that. Shout out to NW Lou. I know you in here, NW Lou. All right. What we got? What we got? I haven't seen this guy in a while. Shout out to Dave. Warren said, "What are you willing to sacrifice to make your business great?" Same question I just asked. That's the question I think everybody that's in here, you should ask yourself going into 2025. What are you willing to sacrifice to make your business great? I've talked about what I sacrificed plenty of times. What are you willing to sacrifice? Sacrifice got to come from somewhere. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, and then I'm gonna go. Listen, wherever you started at, wherever you were at in life when you started your business, if you didn't sacrifice anything, you're doing something wrong. If you think you made a transition and you just it was an easy transition and there was no sacrifice there, whether it was financially or time away from the family or whatever, if you're trying to if there's a balance, and some people may disagree with this, but you know me, I don't care, because I'm going to give you the truth. If you're new and you're a novice and you're an entry level beginner in this business, and there's a perfect balance all the way around the board, you're doing something wrong. If your business is not consuming majority of your time, it shouldn't be even. I'm being honest with you. If your business is not consuming majority of your time, you're absolutely positively doing something wrong. And that may be part of the reason why you're having a hard time or you're struggling or something. Something has to be, like, there has to be, I don't really know how many more ways to, I wish I had a crystal ball. I wish I could take you guys back in time and we could just look at young Mark. I wish I could do that. I wish, because I can sit up here and tell you, and I can show you through pictures and videos that I've done in the past, and I can show you my taxes. I can show you all this shit that I've done and I've showed you, but I wish I could, like, you guys could see me in action. And I know people have come up here that have worked for me and they've talked, but I wish, because I want to go back, I wish I could look down and see it. Because some of the shit that I did, I'm like, how the hell did I do that? But it will give you a just an idea. And I'm still living through the sacrifices that I made. I'm still there's results, both positive and negative, right? The positive results are, you see them, right? The negative results, well, and they may not be negative, but in some situations they can be. I neglected my personal life. To get to where I'm at now, I wouldn't be here if I would have started a family and all that stuff throughout that tenure. I'm just being honest with you. And so I can be transparent with the sacrifices. I'm a result of what sacrifice is. You can look at that from a positive perspective. You can look at it from a negative perspective. But when I tell you, it was anybody that knows me, from girlfriends, my mother, my brother, my current girlfriend, my friends, it will tell you when it comes to business and money and success, whenever I put my mind to something, I become obsessed with it. That's it. It I don't know. I could be sitting here sometimes and just be stuck here, in here. It might not have nothing to do with this shit. It could be for something else. I could be researching a company that I want to invest in. I could be researching something else. I could be actually working on something. And you can't stop me. You can't pull me away from it. And it's not me tooting my own horn, but I'm what you call like a real entrepreneur that's going to do anything and everything to meet the needs of the business. I will let you down. I will absolutely positively send you off. I'm going to call you and let you know that, yo, plans changed. I ain't just going to have you standing there waiting. But if the business needs me, it's not going to be it's going to be me picking up the phone. Hey, man, plans changed. I can't make it. I'm sorry. I know you bought these Bulls tickets and it was $500 or $1,500 a seat. I'm finna sell you the money. Take somebody else. It's on me. I would never neglect what puts a roof over my head. I would never neglect what puts food in my stomach. I never neglect what allows me to do nice things for other people. That's always going to have the first priority right after God, because if without him, I wouldn't be in the position to even have that to do the things that I just mentioned. So, what are you willing to sacrifice in 2025? All right. With that note, shout out to NW Lou. Shout out to Dizzy. Appreciate everybody. Happy Kwanzaa. Hope everybody has a good night. It is 11 o'clock. I am going to retire for this evening. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I may jump in the Discord after I leave out of here for a minute. Peace.